So we're very excited you could join us tonight. We are going to be doing another virtual series in a month in April, and we will continue to talk about more things within our program. Also, in the chat, feel free to use the chat if you would like. We'll be putting our contact information in there for you and any other sort of resources there. So without further ado, my name is Gretchen Bachenhauer. I am in the construction management program. I'm a lecturer and focus on the recruiting efforts and industry partner connections. So that is my role. I'm going to just kind of go around my screen. So Allie, could you go next?
Hi, I'm Allie Stencil. I'm a sophomore / junior at Platteville. I'm majoring in construction management and construction safety management and minoring in business and architecture. So I'm just a student here to ask any questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Allie. Chris, could you go next, please?
Hi, my name is Chris Kirkenbush. I just dropped in the chat that I am a regional admission advisor with Platteville. My territory is Iowa and Northwest Illinois, but I can answer all those questions that you may have, regardless if you're in my territory or not. Whether it's admissions, financial aid, those type of things, just let me know and I'll get back to you in the chat.
Thank you, Chris. All right, Mr. Mark Miner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Mark Miner, and I'm the program coordinator for the construction safety program. So I work closely with Gretchen and Mr. Albers. So glad to have you aboard. And if you have any questions, please ask them, and we'll try to do our best to answer them.
Thank you, Mark. All right, Mr. Mark Albers.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Albers. I'm a co-program coordinator along with Gretchen. She's so humble. Been teaching in the program for 20 years, and then been part of the swap over to the new program, and having a great time. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Okay, we will go to Katie.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Katie Roth. I work in the College of BILSA, Business, Industry, Life Science, and Agriculture, and just kind of help with event planning, outreach, anything I can do for the college to help students. And yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, so Logan, Cole, and Spencer, we kind of already did a brief introduction. Again, we're so excited to have you here. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Remember, if there's anything that comes up during the time, there's the raise the hand function in here. There also is the chat. Feel free to use any of that. So we'll get going. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to, sorry if you hear anything in the background, that is my kids, so I apologize for that. I first want to start out, remember to go to UW-Platt.edu to find more information about our program. The best way is to click academics. And then the next place you want to go is you scroll down and you'll look for the program. It's in alphabetical order. So you'll click construction management. And we're very excited about this because this is now highlighting the program with the new pictures and everything related to that. So this kind of gives you an overview. We are in the College of BILSA and in the Department of Industrial Studies. So if there's any confusion on that, we are in the industrial studies along with occupational safety, manufacturing, things like that. So our bachelor program is construction management with 2 emphases areas of construction management or construction safety management. Like Allie mentioned earlier, you can do both, as she is double emphasizing in both. And then industrial technology management is also there, where you're going to have the manufacturing and occupational safety. And also we do have the tech education side of things too. You can always minor in construction management and construction safety management as well. So if you want to find out more about the department that we're housed in, this kind of highlights a little bit about the labs. You can click on facilities and labs here, and it will kind of run through, you know, our commercial construction lab and also our road and infrastructure lab, which we're very excited about. So that is what tonight is about, and we're very excited about that. So I am going to first hand it over to Mark Albers, and we're going to start kind of going through what our hands-on labs are. So I'm going to start with a brief video and let him explain from there.
All right. Did you want to stop the video at some particular points and talk, or just chit chat as it's going through?
So we'll start this one, Mark, and then the next one I'll let you talk away.
Okay.
Oops. Okay. Sorry, I was like in the middle of moving my screen. Okay, so that is that one that we wanted to show briefly. And the next piece, I'm gonna just kind of pause on and let Mark.
Actually, we didn't see that. We didn't
Yeah,
see
Gretchen,
that.
we didn't see the video.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I thought there was
No.
an awkward silence there for a moment.
Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on. Apologize, everybody. Technical difficulties.
There we go.
Okay. Give me just a minute here. I gotta find it again now. That's just awkward. I apologize. Okay. Try this again.
We've all done it, Gretchen, so don't worry about it.
Okay, I wanted to pause it back there just a little bit. If I can get it to pause just right. Of course not. Oh my goodness. We're just going to struggle today. Okay, so what I'm going to do. And it's awesome. Do you see your name down there, Mark, too? It says your name down below, which is even great. So I'm going to first start. Mark, if you wanted to explain kind of what they're seeing right now.
Okay. I'll let you pick the photos and I'll just talk about them.
Yep.
So the hands-on portion of the programs are relatively new. We've always had a hands-on aspect to our program. We were formerly very residential as far as residential construction is concerned. And then in the last few years, we've switched most of the classes, in fact, all the classes, more to commercial construction and industrial construction. And with that came a brand new laboratory. And what you're looking at is the only one in the nation that has a laboratory at this scale and at this complexity. And on the left-hand side is our office and classroom that was actually a student project. The students took 2 shipping containers and turned that into our classroom and did all the electrical and plumbing and HVAC and all the interior work. And that was a fun project. And now it's a classroom for the lab where we can actually have a warm place in the winter and a cool place in warmer weather. To your, let's stop there for a second. To your right is the commercial construction laboratory. And what that is essentially it's a giant erector set that is all structural steel and precast concrete panels. And what it simulates is a big box kind of store. If you have been into a Walmart or a Menards, and looked up or down. It replicates that kind of structure. And the students build it every semester and take it back down. And they gain a invaluable amount of experience relative to how construction actually happens in the real world, from the ground up and the ground down. We talk about footings, talk about excavation, trench safety, cave-in potentials, footings, weight transfer. There's a little bit of engineering involved. And then it's actually a giant erector set that goes up. It takes a whole semester to put it up, and then a couple of days to take it down again. And the next class starts out with the process again. But it includes structural steel, a low flow roof, ballasted roof, tip up wall panels. And then we have an electrical system in there that's a three-phase mock-up, three-phase 480 panel, 277 panel, 208, 120, that the students get to experience how they work, how they're installed, all the parts and pieces. The white building in the middle of this here is our fabrication shop. I don't know, is there a photo of that inside, Gretchen? There we go. So the fabrication shop is where all the parts and pieces for the building were fabricated and continue to fabricate for that project. Every semester we add more complexity to it. We have a steel fab cut table, welding, a bit of milling, drilling, carpentry, electrical, a little bit of plumbing is incorporated into this as well. And the idea of the labs is to expose entry-level project managers to the parts and pieces and the realities of the commercial construction world. And it's not to make them an electrician or a plumber. That's not the goal. It is to give them true life exposure to how the systems go together and how they operate, and truly an appreciation for the trades that actually do the work, and give them a little hands-on experience. We've been doing this for almost 5 years now. We do have a crane. I and Gretchen are both certified crane operators, and we take care of the maintenance of the crane and the rigging, and it's all incorporated with the safety program, which Mr. Minor will talk a bit about, I'm sure. That's kind of the scope and detail of the lab, the vertical lab. We also have a horizontal lab, and the horizontal lab represents heavy highway, bridge work, paving, curb work, underground utilities, and it's not much you can see in this photo. It's off to the right, but it's another erector set that every semester the students learn to operate the machinery, learn about the risks and the hazards of operating heavy machinery, and then we run through some surveying, how to lay out your project, how to talk about soils, compaction, and things like that. And then we do actually build a small road with some asphalt paving, some concrete paving. We build a small bridge, and then our goal is to expand upon that and bring in underground utilities and overhead utilities into that project. And that's an ongoing thing. We do 2 sections of the vertical lab every semester, and we do 2 sections of the horizontal lab every semester. And we're just winding up the vertical portion, and we will start, well, it's not next week, it's the following Monday, with the horizontal work.
Yeah, we are pretty excited about this. This is really, like Mark said, the only one that we're aware of in the nation. And so that makes us pretty excited to offer this. We have a lot of industry support. As you can see, there's the Kramer Brothers trailer in the background. There was a Meyer one off to the side. We have a Tri-City one in here. So there's a lot of industry support, and we're looking to continue that as we move forward. So the next piece of this, which is really crucial, I'm going to ask Mark Minor to speak about, is how the safety program ties so well with our construction management program. So Mark, if you would like to explain a little bit of what's kind of going on in this video that I'm going to show.
Alrighty. as Mark Albers said, the students do everything. Once we prep them, once we train them, right, get them prepared to do these exercises or these activities, then we have them do it themselves. So this is a student who's taking a steel column that weighs about 800 pounds from laying horizontal on the ground, and then picking it up and inverting it to a vertical position, and then that's how it's placed during the steel erection process. So there's a tremendous amount of things going on right now. We're dealing with gravity, all kinds of forces. And this student is actually, you see his hands moving. Those are actually hand signals that he is giving to Mr. Albers in the crane to perform this operation. This gentleman right here is still the only student ever that has had the skill sets, had perfected the skill sets that I would let him do this. Otherwise, it's kind of a controlled environment with myself involved. But he just caught on. He had the courage to try. Stumbled a couple times before we videotaped it. Got it figured out, and off we went. So it's just this one little activity is one really, really important aspect of this whole lab. Is that this is not Zoom, this is not textbook, this is game time, this is real. And as Mr. Albers eloquently said, it gives our students an actual appreciation, understanding, and respect for what it takes to complete a construction project.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add to that our laboratories are the result of industry partners, and it was kind of my idea, but it was really their input that we listened to. And this whole lab is based on industry input, what they thought young graduates needed to have for skill sets and some operational skills, and certainly just building systems understanding. So it's a heavy partnership with potential and future employers, and we've gotten a lot of feedback that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and it's been an awesome. I'm still very new to the program. I say I'm still the newbie. I've only been here 2 years, and it's just awesome to see how much change in the 2 years that I've been here that's happened. So I can say for you that are coming here, just hold on. There's a lot more on the way. So there is another section here of the virtual tour I would like everybody to see. So I don't know, Mark Miner, if you want to talk a little bit of what I'm showing.
Sure. What's in the picture right now is a result of about four to 5 years of effort. The hands-on experiential lab for the safety program used to be in the basement. It was a 900 square foot room, which is smaller than most houses. And through a concentrated effort and cooperation with industry, we were able to put this new lab together, and this is 3,200 square feet of space. There's close to $250,000 worth of equipment that has been donated from industry in this lab, and it essentially covers every single aspect, equipment-wise, that any safety professional in any sector of industry, whether it's occupational or construction, would ever have to get their hands on or explain or use to solve a problem. So we have a theme here. We have brand new equipment so that the students can look at the new latest and greatest technology and how they can apply that technology to solve problems. And also we have damaged equipment or gently used equipment, so that our students can learn when the criteria is there for it to be taken out of service. A damaged harness, you don't want someone falling in a harness and have it damaged. So as you look around the lab, we've just got a ton of stuff. In the background behind that orange item there is a virtual reality forklift simulator. So the students can actually put goggles on and simulate their driving a forklift. We have miniature scaffolding, so we can actually learn how to build scaffolding, what the components are, the proper processes, and et cetera. How the safety lab and the safety program dovetails into the construction management program and the construction lab is we have a 4-step process. The first thing we do is we discuss or we lecture kind of the theory part. There's always some theory and information and background material that we have to cover. Then we'll take the students through what I call desktop type operations, where they can exercise their muscles a little bit and actually experience what they've just learned through the theoretical part. The third part is, which is the cornerstone of the safety lab, is that we can have these students do very complex, high-risk operations in a controlled and safe environment. And if there's any type of failure at all, that's where we want it to happen. And here, things bounce off the floor, we laugh about it, we joke about it, and more learning takes place, learning from our mistakes. Then the next step is out to the lab. Lab is game time, as you saw in that previous video. Everything is real. So we work all these students through this process so they have the best chance of success when going through the laboratory and the whole program as well. So does anybody have any equipment or ideas or questions on what you just saw?
Yeah, so we have about 9 minutes left, so we're gonna stop our talking and we're gonna open it up to you. Feel free to ask any questions.
Hi, so I know a question that my son had. First of all, thank you for doing this. Super helpful. And I know he'll look forward to seeing the recording. If he is trying to decide between construction management and civil engineering at Platteville, I guess, how do those two fields differ? And, how does that, like, what jobs does it set him up for in the future?
I'll take that. The two programs are housed in different locations on the university. Civil engineering obviously is the Department of Engineering. Ours is physically in a different location. The coursework from the engineering side is certainly much more math intensive and theoretical, and not nearly as much hands-on experience. The placements of both programs are very similar. We have almost 100% placement every semester. Or we're down a little bit this one as kind of a COVID response, I believe. That, but either one, the employment rates are, I can't guarantee anyone a job, but it's almost a guarantee of a job. There's in such high demand, and safety is even in more demand. We just can't generate enough safety graduates to satisfy the need for safety professionals. And Mr. Minor could talk on that in a little bit too. The main difference between the two, as far as civil and ours, is ours has a much heavier hands-on application, and theirs has more of a theory and design side to it. We find that graduates from both programs do very similar work when they do get out in the field, and it's almost always project management. That's the common between the two programs. Even the pay from both programs is very similar. We have a little bit of advantage that project managers tend to become business owners at a faster rate than engineers do. So if you have any desire to climb a kind of a corporate ladder or a business ladder or start your own, we tend to have a little bit more in our favor. Nothing against the other side, but we do have kind of that working for us. Pretty good record. And as far as locations for employment go, I really can't speak too much on the industrial or civil engineering side, but I know we have graduates in very similar businesses. Ours happens to be, we have a big presence in Southern California. We have some in Denver, Colorado, many in Illinois and Wisconsin and Minnesota and Iowa. That's kind of our large hiring pool. But we're in Texas. The only things we kind of lack would probably be the East Coast. We have a couple grads out there, but the bulk of ours kind of stay in the Midwest.
Yeah, and you know, to tie into that, I was gonna say, Allie, could you explain why you chose this program?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so I was debating between civil engineering and construction. So basically, because my end goal was a project manager for construction projects, but I researched both of them, and basically my kind of going off of what Mark said, my understanding of civil engineering was that I was going to work a lot more. I mean, it is more math orientated, but it's a lot more like the environmental engineering classes, stuff like that. I wanted really more like the management, like, okay, this is the project, like this is how project works. This is how you're going to management. This is, or manage it. And then like, this is the components of a building, whereas civil engineering is like, okay, like calculate it. Like, so I kind of wanted more of the management side of it. It's still maths and stuff like that, but it's a little bit more of like knowing how the project works. But also kind of because I really did want some sort of engineering, I added an architecture minor, and that's you can do easily with a construction management major because there's so much overlap. So if that's something he's interested in, you have the opportunity to take engineering classes to kind of get that side of it, but also the construction side of it too. So that's why I did the major and minor that I chose, because I did want to understand some of the engineering, but I wanted mostly the management skills of the project. So
And then I have a couple of things here. This is how I explain it to my own children that went into construction management and other people is, think of the engineer that dreams up the idea or the concept, how this building, this bridge or whatever is going to go together, right? What makes it stand up? The project manager is the one that leads the team to construct the project. They are typically the boss of the engineer, but they have to manage all the subcontractors, all the scheduling, right? The whole business side of it. And then you take the safety side of it, and safety is what supports all of that operation. So we work with engineers so that, like, you know, you look in the background here, the structural steel, are there adequate places for the people who are setting that steel? Can they use fall protection equipment and so that they can protect themselves and the cranes and things like that? So we have, in construction safety, we have the whole technical side and then we have the whole people side. So we kind of play right in the middle of both. So hopefully that helped you out with kind of understanding how that goes together.
Yeah, did we
I'm
answer
sure
your
that'll
question?
I'm sure that'll be super helpful for him. Thank you. I do have another one. I don't mean to monopolize, but this will be my last one in case anyone else does. I'm sure you're aware that the 3 Wisconsin schools with construction management are Stout, and MSOE. So we are exploring all 3.
Yep.
So I guess in addition to the awesome lab stuff you were sharing, why should he choose Platteville? Or, I mean, not to down either of the other 2, but if he's trying to make a decision, how do we make that decision?
It's a good question, and I can say I answer this one quite a bit. So I would say the first thing is the one-on-one. We have a very small classroom size, which makes us stand out. We're able to keep that one-on-one. You're not meeting with a student assistant or anybody else. You're meeting with the faculty. And the faculty you see here, almost all of our faculty is in this meeting right now. We're missing a couple, but I mean, the majority of them are here. And we advise, we help you find the jobs. One thing that Platteville does do very well is also bring in industry. So we have a company almost every week coming to campus, and we're able to bring that side in and make sure that you're staying connected, because the end goal is to get a job, and also not just any job, but one that you're coming from a very recognized program, which we are. We definitely have the industry partners that choose us, and they tell students in their high school years to come to us because of that. So I think that's one thing that stands out. Also, we bring in a variety of different applications. You're not just learning about one area. We also do Revit, we do AutoCAD, we do Procore. There's a lot of different softwares we bring in to make sure you have that full package. And then on top of that, we're the only school out of the 3 you mentioned that have the safety program. no other school has that safety program that you can tie the two together. And I think that's the key thing, because if you're confused when you come here, if you don't know what way to go, that's okay. Just start in the major and then we can help you find that direction. And you'll still be able to graduate in that 3.5, 4-year timeline, taking 15 credits a semester or even 12. So.
As a student before I came to Platteville, I was deciding between those 3 schools. It was mainly Stout in here, but I had called, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Myron Construction. They're headquartered in Neenah, but they're a very well-known construction company, especially in the Midwest. And I called them and I said, this is my schools I'm debating, what do you recommend? And they said Platteville. They said our best graduates come from Platteville and they hire a lot of Platteville grads. So that's kind of what led me to choose Platteville. So coming from Myron, that was big.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So Logan or Cole or Brant, do you have any questions?
I don't know.
No.
Awesome. Okay, so I will say, as I want to make sure we respect your time and everything along those lines, but we all here are more than willing to help. We also do tours at our hands-on labs. So if you do want to come see our labs that we showed today, please join us. We schedule them. We'll be there. We'd love to show you around. We've done a lot of them so far. If you want to get connected with some of our students, please let me know. Allie's one. She's also the vice president of a student organization called Construction Management Association. So she's very involved here in our program and she can answer a lot of questions along those lines as well. Our next Zoom virtual series is going to be on April 10th, I believe. Let me just double check. And we are going to be bringing in alumni to talk about the program and why they chose this program and now what they are doing with this program. So yes, it is going to be Wednesday, April 7th is the next one. And if you're interested, please let admin know, admissions or Chris, and we can get you set up there. But thank you. And we really appreciate your time. And of course, this video will be available for any of you to view. So.
Thank you.